Again, today's date is April 15, 2012, and I'm in San Diego, California, and this is just another extension of another little video file I'm making here in reference to being a target of organized stalking. And right after I got done making the previous video and got up from the bus stop, a guy who went by me in a black car and put his hands directly to his face, looked right at me, smiled, and then put his hands back to his face. And this is what they do. It's called visual anchoring. It's done to make you feel stalked because they got to know where you're at in order to drive by you to do it. And it's done to make you feel constantly harassed as a result. Yeah, and here my little police officer behind me. That's the second time he's done it. It was caught on a previous video I just made, and that one was just caught on this one. And all you have to do is go to Google and type in organized stalking and police sirens or fire truck sirens to get to understand exactly what I'm talking about. What they'll do is they know you're a victim of this crime because they're involved in it. You can go to Google and type in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. There's a manifesto of a gang stalker. And what he does, the individual who made this manifesto is one of the individuals who manages and hosts the harassment target experiences along their path. And he clearly talks about the courts, the psychiatrists, the firemen, the police officers. And when you scrutinize this manifesto and look at it for what it is, and then thoroughly scrutinize organized stalking and or gang stalking at Google and YouTube and thoroughly investigate it, you'll clearly see that police officers and firefighters play a role in this. Now, one thing I want to help people to understand is that organized stalking expeditions engaged in rape of a target because they will traumatize the target any way that they can. What is this about? Hang on a second. One of the things that this is about 70% of the victims are women. This is about human trafficking. And if you look at the manifesto very clearly, you'll see that they're into research big time because a lot of money right now is being made off of research because the research community is really, really, really big. And when we look at how much money can be made off of research, the selling of targets neural mappings, the behavior modification, the studies in reference to it, then you can clearly see that money is made off of every angle. Medicare fraud, insurance fraud is also another angle they make money off of. Taking over a target's property, their finances, their homes, their cars. They take everything from a target to make money off a target from every single angle. They stage vehicle accidents. They create homelessness of 98% of targets. And then whenever they allow a target to re-rent an apartment, they just basically rent apartments that are adjacent to them to harass them. They set up the electronic harassment as well. Just Google organized stalkers, rent adjacent apartments next to targets, and look at how many Google-generated responses you'll get. Google organized stalking in landlords, organized stalking in postal employees, organized stalking in social services, organized stalking and county mental health, organized stalking in doctors, organized stalking in churches, organized stalking in Social Security, organized stalking in universities. Now, when you type that in, you're going to get anywhere between 5 million and 8 million responses. And why is that? Because a lot of targets they go after are on university campuses because a lot of human experimentation is going on. That's the research. And you can easily dupe kids into being targets because when targets are first picked, they don't know anything about organized stalking or gang stalking. So they don't have a clue about scalar projected audible distinguishable signals, which is part of the electronic harassment. It's the microwave auditory effect. They don't have any idea that they're being remotely neurally monitored. And you would not go to Google and type in Ramona Lopez. Yeah, thoroughly look at who's connected to that one. You can also Google Erica Gilmore. She's another fellow target in San Diego or in California. Sylvia L. Morales is another target. My name is Leslie Williams. They stole my rent that was mailed certified mail return receipt. The only way that you can steal mail that is mailed certified mail return receipt is to have a postal employee do it because it's a type of delivery service that is involved with certified mail return receipt. You can go to YouTube and type in gang stalking in San Diego. Sylvia L. Morales' YouTubes are online right now, and she clearly talks about how they're stealing her credit card payments that she mails certified mail return receipt. The way they get the business community in on this harassment is astronomical, and it's just almost unbelievable. I do not do drugs. I do not drink. I do not sleep around. I'm a Christian. I'm a devout Christian. I read my Bible every day. I pray every day. They try to get targets addicted to drugs, and then once they get them addicted to drugs, what they do is they get people addicted to drugs, and then what they do is identify the neural network that is associated with the thinking of going to get drugs, and then the actual motor cortex associated behaviors of getting up and going. They identified that neural network, mark it, and then can stimulate it back into current consciousness on any date, any time, to get them to go buy drugs again. And it's stimulated under the perceptual radar, so they have no idea they're being stimulated. This is what they're doing to targets all over the country using remote neural monitoring. They also use remote neural monitoring to stimulate gambling addictions, sex addictions, drinking. You would not believe what this technology is being used for. It's almost mind-boggling to ascertain your information about your bank account, anything and everything that they can make money off of by using this technology. They use it from a remote distance. That's why they call it remote neural monitoring. My name is Leslie Williams. I expose these crimes not just because of what's happened to me. You would not believe what has happened to me. I was a college student when this openly started towards me. I've been gang stalked by teachers, by campus safety staff on 4 different universities, by students, by teachers, directly to my face. And the government protects it because a lot of the money that's made off of this is allowed. The crimes are allowed because a lot of money that's made off of this is funding black operations for the government. Now, you're going to tell me that I'm not a little scared exposing this? Yes, I am. I admit it straight to you and straight to my videos and for my viewers to see. Of course I am. But understand this. I'm a Christian woman. All my life, I have tried my best to stay totally 100% faithful to my Christian beliefs. They want to turn me into a human trafficking target. So if you think about this, they take people out of their homes and they try to literally neurally entrain them for prostitution by creating such bad destitution you got to eat. So what they'll do is bring men along your path to give you the idea that you can sleep with this guy for money. Yeah, get it? That's the brain entrainment. And then if you act out on it, if you believe it and act out on it, that's creating a neural circuit. And what they do with the remote neural monitor is identify and mark it and then stimulate it on any day for any man. And since they stimulate it below your perceptual radar, once they stimulate it, they keep it stimulated. So you can't even fight off that neural network with other thinking, because when they stimulate it using a pulsating frequency. In other words, do you know what it's like? Have you ever seen an obsessive compulsive person, like on a video, wash his hands a million times over, they can't stop? Well, that's what it's like when they pulsate a neural circuit. They stimulate it with such intensity to where no other thought processes can be scrutinized or even tried at the time they're stimulating a neural network that's already created, because they stimulate it through a pulsating transmission to where it's constantly kept pulsated and modulated to stay in the forefront of conscious scrutiny, to where you cannot have any other, you can't even engage in parallel thinking, okay? So in other words, and you don't know that you're being stimulated, so you just believe that you're having the thought again to the same need, I gotta eat. This is literally what they're trying to do to me today in San Diego, California, and the San Diego police are directly involved to this organized crime. They are literally directly, physically involved to this crime, and so is the San Diego Fire Department. So are members of the San Diego County District Attorney's Office. I'm going to stop this video. I know what I'm saying. When it comes to the police and the fire department and the District Attorney's Office, because of direct physical experiences with them, literally. I expose these crimes to inform the public so the public will really know what's going on in our community. If they'll do this to a learning disabled woman, do you honestly think they won't do this to children they can get a hold of, to teenagers who don't know anything about this technology or the electronic harassment, the neural manipulation? This technology can neurally alter you. It can cause panic attacks, anxiety attacks, depression, thirst, hunger. They sexually stimulate targets. You would not believe what is happening to us targets. My name is Leslie Williams. I expose these crimes and the people that are involved in it so people can watch their back, watch their children, watch their loved ones, to watch their friends, so they can become aware of what's happening to literally innocent people. Okay, I'm talking about innocent people, okay, that they make homeless to attempt to try and involve them in sexual servitude rings, prostitution rings, human trafficking rings. And once they create these neural networks, they're literally mentally controlled. It's nothing but mental slavery. My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California, April 15, 2012.